If you are afraid of making a mistake, you're likely going to hold yourself back. It can be like you're playing with your foot on the brake. Hey there, I'm Eli Strawman, a performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. In this second video in the series on overcoming fear of failure in sports, you're going to learn why the fear of failure causes you to play timidly and hold you back during games. Now, when you're playing with this fear of failure and you have your foot on the brake, you won't be as aggressive and you won't be playing with as much conviction and confidence. There are a few examples that I can give from athletes I've worked with that really help to show how hurtful the fear of failure can be. One is a basketball player who was afraid of missing shots and turning the ball over. So since he had this fear during games, he passed the ball away when he had open shots and was afraid to drive past defenders even when he knew that he could. Another example is from a tennis player that I worked with. She had developed fear surrounding her serve. Specifically, she was afraid of double faulting and not losing the point. So she would serve much more timidly, especially during her second serve. Instead of trusting in the serve that she'd spent hours upon hours working on in training, she took away some power and just simply tried to get the ball over the net. The only problem was, when she did this, she actually lowered her percentage of successful serves. And that shows how playing timidly typically only ends up causing you to play worse. And then a third example is from a baseball player I worked with. As a catcher, he grew to fear throwing the ball to first base to pick off the runner. Even though he could do it during practice, he hesitated during games. What this caused was more bad throws during games, because he interrupted his natural throwing pattern with negative thoughts and he tried to force a perfect throw. Now, those three examples highlight the main reasons athletes struggle to perform well in games when experiencing the fear of failure. The first reason is failing is on the mind. When you are afraid to fail, what you're thinking about is the possibility of failing, and this causes you to hold the image of failing in your mind, which lowers your confidence. The second reason is fear leads to timid play. If you are worried about making mistakes, you're going to hold yourself back. You will play tentatively and timidly since you are trying not to make a mistake. And then third is the body's not going to perform naturally. You train hard to build muscle memory, but when you play with fear, you try to force an outcome which is going to keep you from being able to play naturally, and you're not allowing that muscle memory to take over. Now, knowing the cause of fear of failure and how much it negatively impacts your play, what can you do about this? Well, there are certain exercises that you can use before a game to actually reduce the fear of failure. So go ahead and click right here to watch the next video in the series that shows you the specific exercises you can use to reduce the fear of making mistakes going into a game.